Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with part 2 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, season 7, episode 19. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Candace just got done with Gizelle's uterus and she is still going. She said, you sat on Karen's couch and said that Chris needed to apologize for what he did to you. But we are still waiting to hear what he did to you. So Gizelle is like, he made me feel uncomfortable. So Andy asks, well, what was it that she was uncomfortable with? Was she uncomfortable being in the room with him, or that he did something to make her feel uncomfortable? Here go Ashley. Was it his body language? Ashley, be quiet. Okay? Trying to give her prompts. Just be quiet, honey. Your body language is telling me you cold as hell. Just sit back. So Gizelle is like, I feel like this is semantics at this point. It is. Something is truly wrong with Gizelle. Everybody that go to college don't mean you smart, honey. It's definitely semantics, okay? There's a huge difference between I felt uncomfortable and he made me uncomfortable. One implies that he did something inappropriate to you. Are you new? Like, girl, what? So Candace is like, you're playing with semantics. You're playing in my face. So Mia is playing peanut gallery, talking about she didn't want to be in a room with a married man. She didn't want to be in there by herself. Okay, nobody forced her into the room, Leah. Okay, let's just be very clear. If she didn't want to be in the room with a married man, she could have said, you know what? There's no one in here. Let's step out into the hallway. I don't have time to play with y'all. I really don't. So Gizelle was like, yeah, I just feel like Candace made it bigger by continuing to talk about it. It's the gaslighting for me. Ma'am, she would not have anything to make bigger had you not said anything. You made it a moment. Pulling her to the side when y'all were doing that aerobics or that TikTok class or whatever Ashley was trying to teach y'all, honey, doing the 5, 6, 7, and 8 of it all. You pulled her to the side. So girl, get out of here. So Candace said, no ma'am. No ma'am. You had 6 months. You were playing in my face, kikiing with me, laughing, skinning and grinning, and you could have brought that to me. But you waited until you had the opportunity to say it in front of millions of people and make it your storyline. That's exactly what you did. She said you wanted to make my husband look like a predator. So here go Mia talking about, no, Mia, shut it up. Okay? As soon as Mia said no, Candace continued to speak and she put her hand out. She said, shut up. But what really had me cackling was Wendy laughing. Baby, one thing about Wendy, honey, she gonna get her chuckle on. I know that's right, Wendy, chuckle it up. When I tell y'all, Wendy gonna laugh no matter what's going on. I know that's right, honey. That is me, honey. I don't care nothing about you. I don't care nothing about your feelings. If I want to laugh, I'm gonna laugh. So Candace tells her to shut up. And you should, girl, be quiet. Gizelle just got through setting you up to be investigated by implying that you and G were embezzling money, turning you into the next housewife that's gonna be starring on Orange is the New Black. You gonna be off of Potomac and over there. So please be quiet. Taking up for a woman who don't even really like you. She just likes that you are disliking the same person that she dislikes. Child, you're so desperate to fit in. You're talking out of turn. Sit back, love. Just sit back, honey. Just wait until Jacqueline comes out. Moving forward. Mia's like, so what's wrong with acknowledging that your friend feels like she was treated inappropriately by your husband? Mia, and again, she didn't even say she was treated inappropriately by Chris. There you go, adding a little bit of zhuzh and a little bit of stank to make it much worse than it already is. She did not say that. She said she was uncomfortable being in a room with a married man. No wonder you're not capable of explaining things about your business. That is why they were laughing at you. There is no reason for Candace to acknowledge Gizelle creating storylines at her husband's expense. Girl, please. I wish I would acknowledge Gizelle. So I acknowledge that hell no. Charlie done made me mad. Baby, this part 2 got me heated, honey. And y'all know I give y'all a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade, but honey, today, I'm not playing with them. So Andy said, well, I feel like they should talk about it when Chris comes out. So then he moves on to Ashley and her little lying friend, lying about Chris making the moves on on her, and they show the footage, right? So Andy asks Ashley, so how do you feel about that? She gonna say, I was taken aback because, it did not align with Deborah's words. She said his mouth didn't line up with what he was saying. No, ma'am, Deborah's lie didn't line up with the truth. Okay, it was a lie and the truth wasn't in it. And just admit that you brought this little liar on here to get a rise out of Candace, and it didn't work out because the people were laughing at her and not with her. And y'all were also laughing at her, especially Giselle, when she was sitting at that table talking about, and then Happy Eddie came over. I was like, here come Happy Eddie. So y'all were laughing. I can't stand these helpers. This franchise, I thought Beverly Hills could get me riled up. But baby, Potomac has taken the crown this season, honey. Oh, honey, your desperate little friend tried to create a moment, probably per your instructions, honey, and you ain't fooling me, and made a liar and a fool out of herself. That's exactly what happened. All that stuff she was talking all over Instagram, I will be vindicated. When? Where? When will you be vindicated? When? So Andy said, well, the Happy Eddie thing, I feel like that was a reach. Yeah, Ashley bringing her on this show was a reach. Honey, the whole thing is a reach. So Wendy said, yeah, it was very much a big reach because it seems like women get uncomfortable when men show respect and decency. And unfortunately, the men in this group aren't able to communicate with the women for fear that they may be pegged as something that they're not. Here go Andy. Okay. No, sir, not okay. Andy, that left room for follow-up questions. You turn to someone such as Gizzard and you say, so do you think the men cannot communicate with you all for fear of looking like something that they're not? Has anyone else here ever felt uncomfortable by one of the husbands on the show? We ain't talking about Michael, honey, because we know he done got production, cameraman, and everybody else, honey, and the tapes mysteriously disappeared around the time that Ashley wrote that statement, and she ain't fooling me. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. But Andrew, why didn't you follow up with more questions? This is the thing. Okay, this is the thing, honey. Y'all gonna be here for a while, so get comfortable, get yourself a snack. Don't click off this video because you need to hear it all the way until the end. This is the thing. Andy really upsets me when he's very dismissive of someone's answer, but then he picks and chooses when he wants to further elaborate. Okay, no, that's not okay. That's when you follow up. Because what she's saying is absolutely true. The men on this franchise can't even speak because y'all not used to men being decent. Moving forward. So then he moves on and asks about the IG Live video that RHOP brought to everybody's attention. They showed a Five Below speaker moment, honey. Andy repeats what Candace said. And so he tells Robin that Candace actually was saying nice things about her. Robin was just mad that Candace wouldn't automatically take her side in that Mia versus Wendy thing. So she did this passive aggressive BS and brought this Five Below speaker out and sat it in the middle of the table. And it didn't do nothing for her, honey. She was like, well, I didn't watch it. It was sent to me. So Karen said, who sent it to you? It was on a blog, like a blog. Girl, so the blogger sent it to you? You know Giselle sent that to you, honey, and you ain't fooling me. So Robin said, I thought it was about all of us except Giselle and Ashley because everyone else has businesses. Isn't Giselle's business other people's business? She got a business. It's called Meddling Inc. Child, she definitely got a business. And what about that Sleepy Time podcast? So she was like, yeah, I was just in my feelings because of the way that Candace was treating you. Candace was not treating you badly. You were in your feelings because she wouldn't just automatically say, yeah, Wendy was wrong. Candace is like, girl, you could have come to me. Okay. If you felt like I was talking to you, you could have pulled me to the side and said, listen, heifer, I know you ain't talking about me. So who are you talking about? Well, Candace, she couldn't have pulled you to the side, honey, because she would not have had a moment. As Karen says, she doesn't have many moments. So she felt like that speaker was her chance. So of course she's not going to come to you. Girl, anywho, Robin is confused as to why Candace is mad. How are you confused? You basically are trying to make it seem like she's two-faced and does nothing but talk bad about them behind their backs. Robin, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm just really trying to figure out, like, what is wrong? Is that corset up top on that dress too tight or what? Girl, what is wrong with you? Moving forward. Robin always confused on something, honey, so we just gonna move on. So Candace explains that she could have asked her who it was about. She didn't have to come and bring the speaker. She was like, then you tried to shame me, girl, in front of the group. You embarrassed yourself because I was not embarrassed. So then Robin Audacity Dixon says out of her hypocritical rabbit mouth, Candace, you're getting mad because things are done on camera when everything that we do should happen on camera. Now I understand Candace's tweets much more, especially after Robin sat at this reunion and made it seem like Candace is the one that isn't keeping it real. Candace wants to hide all the good stuff, when in reality, you want to hide all the good stuff. Child, this is crazy. So they show 2 weeks later because production said you will not play in our faces. The reunion has been filmed. The reunion and you and Gizzard work hard, but the production works harder. So they done inserted 2 weeks later on Watch What Happens Live. Andy is expressing to Robin that Candace was angry and reached out to him, and she said she felt betrayed. So Robin is like, what does what I'm going through have to do with Chris? Her and Chris, like, I don't know. I defended her husband. Let's be very clear. She doesn't owe you her firstborn because you defended Chris, if that's what you even did. Because when you got with Giselle, you were singing a whole different tune about how Candace is making it bigger than what it is. Candace is keeping it alive. Robin is a snake. Candace, I hope you don't waste any more triangular clinics over there on Robin, because at the end of the day, she is loyal to Juan and Gizzard. That's it. And also, I want to point this out. Knowing someone longer does not make them a better friend. Like, come on now. You got to use your thinker. So then they got a question for Candace, asking why she doesn't mention Wendy when she talks about friends being loyal. Candace doesn't understand why she has to choose a friend. She's like, I've known Robin longer and we've been friends since. Girl, please use the word friends loosely. Use the term friends very loosely, honey. Did y'all see them pan to Giselle's face? Baby, the hatred is real. Giselle, let me tell you something my mama told me a long time ago. This is when I was becoming a teenager and I was starting to smell myself, as they say in the South, and I was getting a little bit out of pocket. My mama looked to me one day and she said, you can be as pretty as you want to be, but if you ugly on the inside, it's going to exude ugly on the outside. And Giselle, I am starting to see that is what's happening to you. The way you look when these women speak, why are you even here? See, this is my thing. It's one thing to have a group of heifers get together and they have few misunderstandings, but then they work that thing out and they're cool. Giselle literally likes no one except Robin. Like no one. When anyone else speaks, she's all furled up. You can't see much because, she got all this going on, but she's always furled up, looking confused, bewildered, and disgusted. Giselle, you can go. You really can go. So Wendy is like, when you said that she was the most loyal, I was like, what? But then within 5 minutes, the speaker was on the table. She said, and I even leaned over to you and I said, oh, so that's who's most loyal to you? She said, I'm not gonna lie, I felt the way about that. So here go Robin. It's not a competition. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't even claim Robin to be my friend. Co-worker maybe, but not my friend. And I would never trust Rob again after she tried to out me on Mad Day. See, the thing about me is that I will hold your secrets forever. Whatever you told me during the duration of our friendship, I will never reveal those things to anyone, no matter how mad I get. But a person like Robin, as soon as she felt Candace wasn't returning the favor like she did because she took up for Chris, all of a sudden it was Mad Day and that speaker came out. And instead of you listening to the live in its entirety, you just decided to pick and choose what you wanted so that you could create a moment. I wouldn't want to be bothered with her. Candace didn't even really do anything to you. And so a chick like you can't be trusted. So therefore, and thus and such, honey, you couldn't be in my space at all. And Wendy, it seems like Candace would rather make fetch happen with old backbiting, gaslighting Robin. So I would act accordingly. Okay? I'm happy that you and Candace are sticking together. But everybody got to open their eyes up, honey. Okay? Moving forward. So then they take a break. It's lunchtime. The men go in to meet with their wives. Wendy goes in to chat real quick. Chris and Candace go in to, talk for a little bit. I like that little cute handshake they had. Then Wendy goes in to tell Chris, listen, we got your back. Okay? We got your back like chiropractic. Shout out to the joint. Shout out to Mia. We got your back, child. So then they're back. So Andy reads a question, or rather a comment, and it said the common denominator of ladies who do the same thing at the same time is Karen. And they want to know if she stole the idea for a live show from Batman and Robin like she did Wendy's candle. So Andy is asking Giselle about the podcast. And Robin is like, we actually started the podcast before we even listened to a podcast. We had never listened to one. And Candace was like, well, that's not smart. Here go Robin. Don't be hating. Girl, ain't nobody hating on that Sleepy Time podcast. Anywho, so Karen explains that she already talked about her candles well before Wendy even came on the show. And the live show, they all knew about it. And she said they were sitting around and they were laughing. So Andy is like, well, I think your show owes a great deal to the Countess and Friends. Andrew, let me get you together real quick. Nobody thinks of Luann de Lesseps when they do anything. And I mean, not nothing. Child, you tried it. Karen said, no, I mean, Candace was right on the money when she said that it was a variety show. He said, and so was the Countess. Andy gone. So she said, no, my inspiration was Carol Burnett. Now, Karen, that's where you lost me. Okay. You and your bun, you and your top knot. That's where you lost me. Because you specifically said it was an ode to Wendy. Now, I know you did get them sizzle topics from Wendy. Gonna try to call it sizzle instead of hot topics. But Karen, you be lying. And I like Karen. But Karen, you don't know where you got your inspiration from, honey. You just decided I'm going to go ahead and do something now. The candle, I'm going to give it to you. But that live show, it came from somewhere. And it didn't come out of thin air. That's all I'm saying. She's like, that's okay, Andy. You can be shady. But you're more than welcome to come to the Philadelphia show. Y'all know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Sheree when Andy asked her about Neverland. And she was like, it's coming along. And you'll be the first person over invited over for tea. Girl, goodbye. Goodbye. She by Sheree, honey. Ooh, honey, the Heifers is on their way back, honey. Atlanta is on their way back. Atlanta has a special place in my heart, honey. I don't care if the Heifers fall apart. Atlanta is the franchise for me. Honey, let's get back on track. That's just a side note. Moving forward. So then he asked, who or what is a Ladom? Not who or what, child. She said, well, I mean, I get a lot of love on social media, so I named them the Ladoms. So that's why I said Ladoms Rise Up. So Giselle gonna say, well, when you said Ladoms Rise, did they stand up? I know who did stand up. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? He stood right on up to stop y'all from using Reasonably Shady. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Because I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. Or you other Slim Shadys. Child, let me not sing the whole thing, honey. I don't want Eminem all up over me. Child, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Eminem came out and said, listen, you and RHOP will not use Reasonably Shady because it's too close to Slim Shady. So I know for sure he stood up. Now, I don't know about the Ladoms, but Slim said no. Okay? He said absolutely damn not. Moving forward. So Karen said, well, I mean, if I say it during my 300-person sold-out show, I'm sure that they'll rise. Honey, Ladoms, rise up in the comment section, honey, and tell me if y'all down there. So Andy missed it to himself. He gonna say, well, if there were a group called the Robins, what would they be? I'm sorry, y'all. This first part of the reunion was crazy. Karen gonna say, boring. Bloop. Honey, I know that's right. Candace said, oh. That made it even funnier. I said, baby, these heifers crazy. Ooh, they crazy, child. So then Andy goes over to Giselle and he wants to talk about her surgery. So then she states that it was supposed to be a 3-hour surgery. And then she stopped herself. She was like, it turned out to be 8, but we'll talk about that later. He said, no, we'll talk about it now. I know that's right. Because see, the thing is, Andy has let them sit there and skate by, especially Giselle, season after season after season after season after season in that front seat. And today he said no more. Who does Giselle think she is? Now, I'm sure she's used to them accommodating her, but not today. Not today. See, this is why she should be at the end where Mia or Wendy is. Because this is the reunion. This is where you talk about things. You didn't have anything to really talk about. So the fact that he's even asking you about something, you should take it and say what it is. Because I remember a long time ago, Andy said that the reunion is where they decide who will come back for the next season. That's why Portia, her first season being on Atlanta, she was doing all that singing and preaching and crying and going on. Then Andy said he looked at Portia and knew that she should have continued on with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was in that moment that he decided to keep her. So the fact that you're sitting here telling this man that's in charge, we'll talk about it later. Like, girl, say what? No, we'll talk about the little bit that you got to talk about right damn now. So she tells him it was supposed to be a 3-hour surgery. It turned out to be 8. He asked how hard it was telling her kids. She said it was super hard. She starts to get choked up. She said her sister was getting updates every hour and then the updates just stopped. Now, when she said sister, I looked at the screen. I said, who, your lying sister? When did you get a sister? She said for hours her kids were terrified because they didn't think that she was coming home, because she initially said that the surgery was going to be an outpatient thing and she was going to be home, but it was so long and complications happened that she had to stay overnight. And when they found out that she wasn't coming home, that really made them even more scared because, you know, her bladder was compromised and, you know, they was just scared, child. But I'm looking at Giselle and I just want to say this to you, Gizzard. You aren't made of stone. It's okay to evoke emotion. It's okay. For some reason, Giselle seems to be void of emotion. I don't know if she thinks it makes her look weak or what, but she wouldn't even let out a tear. I kind of feel bad for her, and I feel bad for her girls, especially since Jamal is not their favorite parent, according to what's been shown to us on this show. And despite how I feel about Giselle, love or hate her or whatever, that's their mama, okay? And I'm sure they were scared senseless. So my concern is for them. Also, who knew Giselle had a sister? Not I, said the cat. I sure didn't know she had no sister. See, this is my issue with Giselle. It has been 7 years. We know nothing about you. Absolutely nothing. Potomac, y'all gonna have to do better, because we are more shocked at her saying she had a sister than the actual outcome of her surgery. Everybody like, sister? Child, we probably all said it in unison and couldn't hear each other. Sister? When did you get one of those? Also, you taking us on this journey would allow people to humanize you rather than seeing you as the villain that you play on TV. But I'm starting to think that's not a play. I'm starting to think this is your true character, especially after how you behaved on part 2 of this reunion. Like, this could have helped another woman. Talk about it. Like, I suffer from very large fibroids, and I want to know, what did you experience that made you aware that you needed surgery? Like, these are things that could have helped someone. Giselle can go. Okay, she can really go, because at this point, she isn't even willing to talk at the reunion, but she was willing to be in everybody else's business when they speaking, piping up, speaking her speech all over everybody else. I'm happy she got her procedure done, but she can go now. We have wrapped her storyline up. You and the Etch a Sketch House, we wish you the best. Moving forward. So Andy was like, it seems like there's a lot that you don't want to share, but there's an expectation for everyone else to share. She's like, no, they don't have to answer. I do share. Now, if production doesn't want to show it, then that's on them. So then Andy brought up Steve and this fake entanglement she got going on between Steve, her, and Jason, child. And Candace was yawning. I know that's right, honey. It's giving sleepy time. Andy asked if her and Jason got it popping when she came down to New York, and she kind of alluded to the fact that they did something, child. Anywho, Andy asked if next season, if she's still dating Jason, will they see him on the show? Child, please. Let's go ahead and move on, honey. Because after Sherman and Jamal, Giselle will never show y'all another man. And I mean, especially after Sherman. Baby, when they got through having that woman show up and Giselle was blindsided and they were talking about all his indiscretions in the park after dark, baby, ain't no way another man will ever hit the scene with Gizzard. Moving forward. So then we revisit Wendy's time on the show this season, and Andy asked about her health. Wendy said, she dialed it back after the kidney stones. She changed her diet. She increased her water intake. She trying to get herself together. So Andy asked Mia to explain her relationship with Peter. She was like, we're friends. I mean, he's friends with G. Andy said, is that all? And I know that's right. Mia was like, no. He was like, well, what about the relationship with his girlfriend? And, here go Mia trying to explain it. Well, we knew his girlfriend before then. So it just really not like we knew the girlfriend before then. So then Andy said, I don't understand why you threw that drink on Wendy when she didn't even say anything that bad. So then Mia gets to lying. I didn't intend to argue with Mia, but then she started talking about threesomes and I wanted to talk about business. What are you talking about? Candace was like, no, you threw the drink, and she responded. So then Wendy is like, girl, are you kidding me? It's been almost a year and you still cannot take accountability for assaulting me. Like, what are you talking about? So they're talking about one thing. Here go Mia. Let's talk about you giving Peter the cookie. Girl, are you... Okay. I can't even find the words. Mia, you can go with Gizzard and Robin. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care about people saying Mia grew on me. Mia's funny. No, Mia's a liar, and she's a dangerous one at that. She's about as dangerous as Giselle. She's just dingy with it. She can go, child. What are you talking about? You're being ridiculous at this point. So Candace was like, y'all just can't say whatever y'all want to say. Like, girl, what are you talking about? So Andy said, well, how do you know she gave him the cookie? Mia gonna say, well, they met at bar 1 before filming, and they had an entire entree. I saw the tapes. Now, maybe this is just me having a Karen moment, but I would have to pursue legal action with Mia, because what you will not do is sit up and say that I'm cheating on my husband and you saw with your own eyes me popping it for pimp over there with Patricia. That's what you will not do. Okay, because that's a dangerous lie. And then you said it with a straight face. So therefore, and thus and such, you would have to meet my attorneys, honey, with a cease and desist. We could be on this show together, but don't mention me. Don't talk about me. Don't look at me. I don't exist as far as you are concerned, because something is wrong with Mia. I don't know if y'all see it. So here go Andy. Well, did she have the cookie for dinner? Candace said, no, she gave him the cookie, allegedly. He said, I get it. He said, I understand. So Wendy was like, you was screwing for lobsters. She was like, I ain't denying it. Oh, child, a lobster gonna make a cameo if it don't do nothing else, child. So then Andy asked Robin, how is Wendy the antagonist when a drink was thrown in her face? So here we go. Robin starts lying, talking about how, I don't know how I would react if somebody threw a drink on me. Andy said, oh, I know it wouldn't be good. I saw the umbrella scene. I know that's right, how quickly we forget. She's like, well, I didn't want to see her fight on TV. Karen said, well, why did you say fight or shut up? So then Robin proceeds to say, no. What I said was, if you want to fight, then fight. But if you don't, stop. No, Robin, you stop. Okay, that's not what you said. You said, if you want to fight, then fight. If not, shut up. Those were your exact words. She's like, well, that's the part that people are missing. I'm not missing nothing, RDZ. I remember very vividly exactly what you said. And I don't want to see no never before seen footage. I don't want to see anything that was taken out. It's not going to change my opinion of Robin during that scene. I don't care what you show me. So Wendy was like, well, I mean, if somebody hit dumbass Mia in the face, she would say this is messed up. Here go Giselle over there mumbling, talking about that's not nice. Girl, please. Your entire aura is not nice. So just sit back and pipe down. So Robin was like, yeah, I'm not justifying what she did, but I understand her frustration. How do you understand her frustration? Mia created her own frustration by trying to show out and impress Giselle with her silly self. What frustration? Nobody told her to get up and go over there and talk to Peter and then come back and have an attitude and try to out somebody. But then when the roles were reversed, she gets pissed. Nobody asked her to do that. So she's like, secondly, we weren't friends, and I felt like Karen would have been the perfect person to tell y'all to cut it out. Robin, this is not daycare. Nobody should be responsible for this overgrown woman not being able to regulate her emotions. Ain't nobody got time to tell Mia, stop. Nobody has time to do that. Robin just trying to put it off on somebody because she don't want to take responsibility for the fact that she was acting a fool in the scene with everybody else. So Karen is like, girl, don't speak for me, okay? Don't bring me in your mess. What you're not going to do is bring me in on something that you were responsible for. You were throwing gas on the fire. I don't want to hear it. Keep me out of it. So then he reads a comment about Sharice having to hold Robin back and Robin lying about saying Sharice had to hold her back. So they asked if she can acknowledge that she was behaving aggressively. But of course she cannot. So Robin is like, well, I said I didn't need her to put her hand on me. I didn't say that she didn't. I said I didn't need her to. No, you didn't. You sat right there at that winery in front of your cheese and crackers, picked up your iPhone, FaceTimed Honey Boo Boo and said, girl, did you have to put your hands on me? She lied because she'll do anything to get back on the show. And she said, no. You said, see, she didn't put her hands on me. She didn't even touch me. You did not say, no, she didn't have to touch me. The way these women lie. I thought Mia was the only liar. Child, it's a panel full of liars, honey. Okay, I'm officially at this point over Robin. I don't want to hear her speak. Okay, I don't want to hear Robin speak anymore. I have reached my limit, honey. I have reached it. So Wendy said, I don't know where y'all from, but if you standing up and I'm seated, anything could happen. Even Andy was like, listen, if you stepped up to the center of this room right now, I would hold you back. So Robin is like, well, even if somebody tells me to stand up 28 times, what is this? Simon Says. So you do whatever somebody tell you to do. Robin and Giselle deserve each other. They are both delusional, and they are both not nice people. And that is the most PG-13 way I can say it, honey, because when I was in here by myself, it was explicit, and you best believe it. The two of them deserve each other, and I hope that they can make all the money that they can off that podcast, because they need to be off this show, and I wish them everything that they deserve. Moving forward. So then Andy went to Ashley and he was like, listen, they say you flip-flopped on your stance on violence this season because you defended Monique to the courts, but then you went against Mia. So Ashley said, well, everybody came to Candace's defense, but nobody helped Wendy. So I stand on what I did. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. So then Andy turns to Giselle and says, your reaction in Miami seemed hypocritical. How is it that this is different than what Monique did? So Giselle gonna say, well, what Monique did, I felt like she beat Candace up. But a drink being tossed in your face, that just doesn't compare. Andy said, okay, listen to me, Giselle. You said Chris made you feel a certain way. Okay. So she felt a certain way. She got a martini thrown in her eyes. She's like, right, right. But I don't like her, so it doesn't matter to me. What are you, 12? I don't like her. So that justifies her being assaulted? Gizzard is just a gross human being. And that is exactly why I gave her the name Gizzard. It is so befitting. What a fine example you're setting for your daughters. They must be so proud. And I don't know about y'all, but when she extended that arm and pointed at Wendy, I got so heated. Don't even look my way, girl. Giselle, you have pointed at this woman 2 or 3 times talking about how you don't like her and extended that arm across Ashley. Keep your hands in your lap. Candace said, well, that speaks to your moral compass. Honey, she doesn't have a moral compass. Like, what are you even saying? So Wendy said, you know what? Despite how strong I am, this stuff really hurt me to my core. And it took everything in me not to beat her ass because of the woman that I am. So now she crying and she was like, I mean, the way it was handled in the group was messed up. And I only talked to her to move forward as a group. But I don't F with her. But see, this is the thing, Wendy, because I got to give you a little something as well. You don't have to F with them, period. You ain't have to go talk to her to move forward with no group. Talking to Mia was not going to make things any better because you see Giselle is sitting right here on this couch still saying, I don't like her. So whatever Mia did to her, it was justified. Robin still don't like you. So none of that changed anything. Stand 10 toes down in your conviction that you will not be mistreated. Teach these women how to treat you. Do not let them cross your boundaries. So Giselle gonna say, but wouldn't y'all kissing or bumping coochies or something? Wendy responded to her, but I would have told Giselle to go straight to hell and save a seat for Pastor Holy Whore. I would have told her to go straight to hell, honey. Respectfully. This woman is just vile. You excuse assault by constantly saying, but I don't like her. Grow up. You look and sound about as silly as that blue Power Ranger dress you got on. And Wendy, no matter how wasted y'all got, an op is an op. I ain't never look. First of all, I'm not even getting drunk around nobody who would throw some liquor in my face because I don't trust you. You're unhinged. Just like Jacqueline says a little bit later. Mia can't be trusted. Ain't no way I'm going to be gone off no liquor. Not around Mia. Not around anybody who does not like me. You don't consume alcohol with people who don't like you. Like, girl, where they do that at? So they go on commercial break. They come back. And after commercial break, Andy brings up the colorism topic, but he feels like he's not the best person to moderate it. Okay, I agree. So he said they called each of them and asked how they wanted to go about it. And they said that they wanted to handle it themselves. So they wanted to talk about it amongst themselves. And Andy's going to sit back, listen, and learn. No, absolutely not. Okay, this needed a moderator. This wasn't them deciding where to go to lunch. This is something that really needs to be delved into and really talked about. So, okay, child, let's just get into it. Candace leads the charge by saying what the definition of colorism is. But to preface that, Andy said when he spoke to Candace, she said that there was no colorism within the group. So she brings up the fact that she will cry and scream and she's deemed the crybaby, and Robin can scream and put people in their places and put her fingers in their face and confront Ashley in her restaurant, and she's treated totally different. So Robin's like, no, I've been called mean girl. Girl, stop playing dumb. So Giselle is like, well, how does you being emotional correlate to your skin color? The ignorance just oozes from Giselle's pores. You know good and dang on well that darker skinned women are deemed more aggressive than their lighter skinned counterparts. Let's stop it. Let's stop it right now. She just gave you a prime example, which is why I don't understand why she's saying there's no colorism in the group, because she just gave you a prime example. And I could probably give you 5 or 6 more. She's right. You're not very smart. You're not very smart. So then Karen chimes in and she talks about how her family owns one of the plantations and colorism was taught to them from a very early age. And what Candace is saying is based on her skin color, she's judged more harshly than she or Robin would have been. Giselle know that. She knows that. You don't have to tell her that, Karen. She knows. She wants to pretend to be oblivious so she can continue to exhibit her colorist ways. And she's not fooling me. So Ashley is like, well, how do we know that's true? I mean, it could just be Candace's personality. The colorism is sitting next to you. What are you talking about? So Karen said, well, they need to listen to Candace, because what she's saying is she feels like she's treated a certain way. So you need to acknowledge it. So Ashley said, okay, I acknowledge that, you know, because me, Mia, Robin, and Giselle are lighter, we do get a privilege. But I've been into it with all of you. And I just feel like the dynamics of this group aren't based on the color of your skin. Ashley, but it is. It is, though. For Giselle, it absolutely is. Karen has said some low down things to Giselle. Low down. Giselle has in turn told Karen in a lobby full of people that her husband wanted to sleep with her best friend Erica Lyles for a night. And they turned right back around and they were cool. Wendy says one thing which Giselle started and she can't let it go. You trying to tell me that's just based on her not being able to stand Wendy? Come on now, Ashley, honey. I'm not buying it, child. I appreciate you saying that there is a privilege that you guys get in acknowledging that. But as for Giselle, I don't think so, honey. Absolutely not. Candace was like, well, Ashley acknowledging it breaks down the stigma. So then Mia pipes up with her fake tears. Girl gone. And Wendy's like, listen, even though we're filming a show, we need to be mindful moving forward of the dog whistles within the group. So Andy was like, yeah, because Michelle Obama's listening. Yeah, and she probably pissed at this waste of a conversation. It was very surface level. It was placed here to appease the viewing audience. I was not impressed. This was not thoroughly talked about as it should have been. Candace should not have been the lead charge because although I like Candace, she said there's no colorism in the group, then gave a prime example of colorism in the group. Meanwhile, Giselle and Robin's throat box was on mute when Giselle is the biggest culprit. You cannot tell me the venom that is flowing through Giselle's veins is not because Wendy is darker skinned and very articulate and sits upright and will not let you play in her face. You can't tell me nothing different. You just can't tell me nothing different, honey. This really made me mad because Giselle is just waiting to get off this stage so her and Robin can go gossip in that dressing room that they're sharing, and they ain't fooling me. So Giselle talking about, yeah, I mean, she would be proud. We went high. Now let's get to the low. Oh, honey, you already there. Moving forward. So then Jacqueline joins the group. They show her moments in all of the crying that she did behind old lying flip-flopping Mia. And Andy asked how it felt watching it back. So Mia said, you know, I just feel like we both could have done better. And Jacqueline feels like Mia wants her to be beneath her. And Mia doesn't agree. She's like, I don't feel like I want her to be beneath me. But I was going through some things at the time. And once she got on this show, I was just overwhelmed by all of the support that she needed. So Jacqueline was like, let's get this very straight, okay? My sister was my nanny first, but then she didn't have a support system from her family, so I helped her out by asking my sister to be the nanny for her. So Andy asked Mia, when she was living with her family, did she feel like she was less than and now she's trying to turn the tables? Like, what's happening? So she was like, no, her mom and dad, they treated me well. They treated me like I was one of their own. So Mia said, we just fight like this. But, you know, I can wake up the next day and forget it even happened. Yeah, girl, because you in there sleeping off your lies. So Jacqueline said, that's the problem. You're unhinged. Mia said, no, I'm not. Jacqueline said, oh, yeah, but you are. Sending out that group chat saying that I was on food stamps and losing my house. Girl, that's unhinged. She was like, meanwhile, Your family business is in shambles and I have the receipts. So, baby, they both bringing out the receipts and whatnot. And I was like, say, what now? So, baby, everybody's sitting around looking at them because they getting ready to go toe to toe. And that was the end of the episode. See, this right here is very unfortunate because they let this show destroy years of friendship. Meanwhile, all it's doing is giving these heifers something to talk about. You think they looking at y'all like one of y'all is a bigger winner than the other? No. At the end of the day, the two of you will be the best friends that came on here and pulled out receipts on each other on Mad Day. Anywho, y'all comment down below and let me know exactly what y'all thought about this episode. Baby, this review ran a little bit long, but I hope you stayed until the end because I just had so much to say. I had so much to say, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.